What is multimodality? Communication encompasses more than just verbal and written messages. Whenever we communicate, we use several processes called modes. These modes are a way of communicating and creating meaning. When we combine these modes, we form what is called a multimodal text. When we say a multimodal text, these are instructional resources that incorporate various modes of communication. It can be a communication of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. In its basic sense, multimodality is a theory of communication and social semiotics. Multimodality refers to the use of textual, auditory, linguistic, spatial, and visual resources in communication, or modes used to compose messages. The combination of various modes or elements helps to create how multimodality affects different rhetorical situations or opportunities for increasing an audience reception of an idea or concept. The use of multimodal communication is an effective way of conveying message to one's audience because it makes use of various modes of communication. Whilst multimodality as a field of study did not thrive, all communication, literacy, and composing process have been multimodal since the 19th century. Although discussions of multimodality involves medium and modes, these two terms are not synonymous. Gunter Chris' scholarship on multimodality is canonical in writing studies, and he explains mode in two ways. A mode is a socially and culturally structured resource for producing meaning. Also, semiotic modes, like intrinsic properties and potentialities of the mode, are shaped by requirement, history, values of civilization, and their cultures. At this point, we are going to talk about the elements of multimodal text. The first element of the multimodal text is visual. This includes colors, vectors, and viewpoints of still and moving images. The next element is auditory. This includes the volume, beats, rhythm of music, and sounds. Gestural is another element of the multimodal text. Gestural includes movement, facial expression, and body language. In simple terms, gestural mode refers to the way movement is interpreted. Another element of the multimodal text is spatial. As the name implies, spatial mode refers to proximity, the reaction position play out, and the arrangement of objects in space. Why use multimodal communication? The use of the various modes of communication bring about equality for all. I had an experience with a visually impaired person who could follow properly the content of a program because of the various modes used. The use of the auditory mode saved him the struggle of having to let someone interpret the program for him. The auditory mode might work for this person, but another mode will do the magic for another person. Also, multimodal communication is a more interactive way of communicating with one's audience. In multimodality, how consistent one becomes in using fonts, font size, and color communicates a lot about how the audience would view and relate to the text. One most important thing is the color choice of the designer. Colors that are not coherent will either leave the audience over-engaged and struggling to read and understand, or drift the audience's attention entirely. I had an experience recently where I had to pitch a business idea in a competition that required that I use text, visuals, and live presentations to convey my ideas. I considered several factors in coming out with the color scheme for the design of my slides. These included how visible the text and visuals will look, the time of the day of the presentation, the color of the shirt I will wear, and many more. Modes are arranged according to the weight each carries. The arrangement of modes according to importance is another key thing I consider in multimodality. In some of the projects I have created, there are times when I want to emphasize certain information and also de-emphasize others, and all this boils down to how I arrange them. For instance, I'll put a attractive and clear image or text on a website's front page because I want it to serve as an attention grabber, with less important or prominent in the middle or at the end of the website. Hence, the proper combination of the various modes, taking into consideration the target audience, helps one to develop an appealing content for them. Some key things to also consider are the coherence of the use of the various modes, the proper arrangement of the modes according to the level of importance, and overall, the meaning one wants to create for the audience. Multimodality is all about conveying message to one's audience. And this, I believe, about writing.